Hello, my beautiful and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for decoding the golden language of the cosmos and remembering the divine royalty that lives within you. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this message at this precise moment in time, I want you to know with all the certainty of the sun that rises each morning that this is a divine appointment. Your soul has been calling for this. Pause with me for just a moment. Before we journey into the heart of this truth, I invite you to find a space where you can be undisturbed. Take a deep sovereign breath in, filling your lungs with the golden light of your own life force. Hold it for a count of 3, feeling the power and the stillness gathering within your chest. And then exhale, slowly releasing every performance, every mask, every heavy crown you have been wearing for the world. Let your powerful shoulders relax. Allow your great, generous heart, that blazing sun at the center of your universe, to open to this sacred transmission. Because the universe has orchestrated this moment to speak directly to the king or queen that dwells within you. Now, if what I am about to say resonates deep within your spirit, if you feel a stirring in your soul that says, "Yes, this is for me," then I invite you to make a sacred pact with your own magnificent unfolding. Press that like button, not as a simple click, but as a powerful seal upon your intention. A declaration to the cosmos that you are ready to reclaim your true throne. And in the comments below, let's create a wave of sovereign energy together. I want you to declare your readiness by writing, "I am ready to let my true light shine." Consider this a sacred covenant, a promise that you are stepping into your authentic power. And if you have not yet joined our Pride, subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom so that you never miss these divine messages crafted just for your journey. My glorious Leo, have you ever stood in the center of your own home, the kingdom you have so carefully and beautifully built, and felt a profound and unsettling silence, a silence that echoes louder than any applause? You look around at the life you've created, the symbols of your success, the comfort, the beauty, and yet in the quiet moments after the guests have gone, after the phone has been put down, a strange feeling arises, a sense that an invisible audience is watching you, but this is not the adoring crowd you are so accustomed to. This is an audience of one, a presence that does not watch your performance, but gazes directly into your soul. Do not rush to dismiss this feeling as mere exhaustion or a flight of fancy. This sensation, this sacred shiver in the stillness of your own castle, may be the very sign that the divine is sending a higher presence to find you. It is arriving to stir the embers of your heart. But here is the most transformative part. It does not come to bring you more applause. It does not come to comfort your ego. It comes to reveal the luminous, unshakable truth you may have long tried to outshine. It comes to ask you a single universe-altering question. Magnificent One, is the light you are projecting into the world the same light that burns within your soul? Walk with me now into the first chapter of this great remembering, where the familiar home you command transforms not just into a mirror of your destiny, but into the sacred stage for your own coronation. And on this stage, every hidden script, every quiet compromise made for the sake of love or approval is about to be illuminated by a divine spotlight. Close your eyes for a moment, powerful Leo, and listen with your heart. The place you call home has never been just walls, furniture, or a roof over your head. For a soul like yours, your home is your kingdom. It is a testament to your strength, your generosity, your creative fire, Every object, every color, every corner is a reflection of the magnificent world you wish to build, a world of warmth, light, and regal beauty. It is your sanctuary, your throne room, your stage. But let us be honest with ourselves in this sacred space between us. Have you ever felt that this stage, this beautiful kingdom, has at times become a gilded cage? You are the sun, my dear Leo. You were born to shine, to radiate, to warm others with your presence. It is your divine nature. Yet how many times have you felt the pressure to keep shining even when your inner light felt dim? How many times have you put on the grand performance of being the strong one, the cheerful one, the generous one, when all your soul truly craved was a quiet space to be vulnerable and be loved, not for your radiance, but for the simple, beautiful truth of who you are? I believe nothing in our universe is by chance. God, the great director, has placed invisible mirrors within your kingdom, not to frighten you, but to give you the chance to see your true reflection beyond the costume. You may have grown masterful at your role, so brilliant in your performance that even you have begun to believe it is the entirety of who you are. But in an unexpected moment of stillness, the walls of your own home begin to whisper, and they do not speak of your achievements or your accolades. They speak only of the silent covenants your heart has made. Have you ever felt it? That sudden chill that runs down your spine in a familiar sunlit room, as though an unseen gaze has pierced through your carefully constructed brilliance, leaving no place for your performance to hide. These are the moments the whispers begin. Perhaps you hear them in the dead of night, when the silence grows so heavy that you cannot sleep. You toss and turn, hearing the powerful beat of your own heart, and beneath it, the unspoken plea, "See me, see the real me." That is not merely sleeplessness, my friend. That is the sign of your soul, knocking from behind the curtain, reminding you that your truest, most authentic self cannot be upstaged forever. The universe allows this profound silence to fall upon your kingdom, not to leave you feeling lonely, but to help you realize that your most sacred truth can only be heard in the stillness, never amidst the roar of false applause. Perhaps you have walked through a room in your home, and it has suddenly felt unfamiliar. The light falls into a long-forgotten corner, and you see it is not dust at all, but a collection of forgotten dreams, of creative passions you set aside, of promises you once whispered to your own heart, and then abandoned in the name of being practical or pleasing someone else. That home does not just hold your possessions, it holds the invisible contracts you signed with your own heart. The contract that said, "I will be the unshakable rock for everyone, even if I am crumbling inside." The contract that said, "I will swallow my own needs to ensure the happiness of those I love, for their adoration is the proof of my worth." The contract that said, "I will dim my own brilliant light just enough so that it does not intimidate others, so that I can fit into their world." But my dear glorious Leo, what applause is true and what applause is false? Have you ever paused to ask yourself if the adoration you have clung to is truly for you or for the magnificent character you play? God never intended for you to be an actor in the story of your own life. He cast you as the lead, the director, and the sovereign creator. He wants you to see with breathtaking clarity that the very stage you believed was your source of power has at times become a prison for your soul. Be honest with me, and more importantly, with your own magnificent heart. How many times have you smiled when you wanted to weep? How many times have you roared with laughter when your soul was whispering in sorrow? How many times have you sat alone on your throne after the court has departed, with tears falling not from any clear sadness, but because your soul was reminding you that a part of you, the tender, the vulnerable, the imperfect part, had been left behind in the wings. That sensation is not an illusion. It is a signal. It is the universe's divine whisper saying the time has come. The time has come to return to your center, to gaze deeply into the mirror of your own soul and see the glorious being who exists even when the spotlight is turned off. You may feel a flicker of fear, because when that mirror shines clearly, you will see not only your radiant beauty and unshakable strength, but also the cracks in your golden armor, the imperfect fragments, the battle scars on your noble heart. Yet I want you to understand this down to the very marrow of your bones. Those very cracks are the proof that you have lived, that you have loved with the ferocity of a lion, that you have given your light, your warmth, your very essence more than you have ever received in return. And if today you feel a weariness deep in your bones, if your familiar kingdom suddenly feels strange and empty, that is not a sign of loss. It is a sign that you are about to cross a new threshold. You are outgrowing the stage. You no longer need to keep performing for the cramped space of ungrateful relationships. You no longer need to force a smile only to preserve a false harmony. For true peace, true power, true sovereignty begins only when you dare to face the mirror. Dare to name the fear of being unseen. Dare to embrace the parts of your soul you once believed were unworthy of the spotlight. And then, as you turn to face this truth, something miraculous happens. Those invisible contracts, those heavy costumes, the very walls of the gilded cage begin to dissolve. You hear a new whisper in your heart. It is no longer the echo of past applause, but the call of your future. A higher presence is drawing near. It may appear as a person, as a dream, as a sudden, breathtaking moment of clarity, but you will know it. You will recognize it the instant it arrives, because in that moment, your soul will vibrate like a lion's roar echoing in a sacred canyon, powerful, true, and undeniable. Are you ready for this, my magnificent friend? For this presence will not come to flatter you, nor to shield you in its comfort. It comes to illuminate. It comes to remind you of the untamed, sovereign power you have forgotten. It comes to strip away the mask you once thought was necessary for your survival. It comes to knock on the very throne room of your soul, where you once locked your most tender, authentic heart away. Remember this, noble Leo, the universe does not send you a savior. It knows you need no saving. It sends you a living divine mirror, so that when you gaze upon it, you recognize with a soul-shaking certainty that you and you alone hold the scepter of your own liberation. In that sacred moment, all the old patterns, the silent promises to perform, the false peace of conditional love, the invisible chains of expectation will be revealed in the light. But what happens after they are revealed? Will you choose to put the costume back on? Or will you find the courage to release it? Will you dare to open the door, to step off the familiar stage filled with shadows and walk into a brighter world where you can be fully, gloriously, and unapologetically yourself, without any script, without any barriers, and without any need for applause? The answer cannot come from me. It can only arise from the fiery truth of your own heart, from the trust you place in the divine, and in the sacred instant that this journey shifts into a new stage, a stage of rebirth where every presence becomes a divine message, every silence a powerful lesson, and every step you take leads you back to your own authentic throne. Have you heard that knocking? Because the very moment you recognize it, everything changes. The old sets are dismantled, The old scripts are burned, and the old roles, one by one, emerge waiting for your sovereign choice to keep them or to finally let them go. There are moments in this life, my glorious Leo, when you sense that something is approaching. It is not exactly a person you can name, not an event you can mark on your calendar, but an invisible shift in the very air around you. A cosmic wind rushes past, leaving a feeling on your very skin that something sacred is knocking at the gates of your kingdom. The ancients called it a higher presence, a sign from the divine, a soul sent from the universe for the sole purpose of awakening you. Perhaps it arrives through a dream so vivid and powerful that you wake with your heart pounding the echo of a profound truth still ringing in your ears. Perhaps it arrives through a stranger, a fleeting glance across a crowded room that makes you remember a part of yourself you had long forgotten. Or perhaps most powerfully of all, that presence is your own shadow, the part of your brilliant soul you have refused to face for years now, stepping out into the light. I believe with every fiber of my being that the universe does not send you a savior because it knows you need no one else to complete you. You were born whole, a perfect and complete star. It only sends you a mirror. And sometimes that mirror takes the shape of a person. Sometimes it is a shattering experience, a betrayal, or a loss that forces you to question the very stage you've been standing on. Sometimes it is a turning point that leaves you with no choice but to pause and look within. This mirror does not make you stronger, Leo. It only reminds you that the strength of the sun was always there blazing within your heart. The question is whether you have the courage to look and finally recognize your own light without the filter of performance. Do not wait for another person to grant you permission to be free. Do not hope for a hand to lift you from the darkness of your own self-doubt. The truth is the divine has already placed the weapons of your sovereignty within you long ago. Your unshakable intuition, your boundless generosity and warmth, the power to forgive, not as an act of weakness, but as a declaration of your own strength, and the resilience you have proven time and time again in every fall and glorious rise. These weapons do not shine outwardly like trophies. They glow from within the sacred chamber of your heart. And when this higher presence steps into your life, its purpose is not to save you. It is to awaken you. It is to prompt you to draw your own sword of truth from its dusty sheath and wield it as the instrument of your own liberation. Can you hear it now? It is not the footsteps of another in the dark halls of your castle. It is not the sound of a door swinging open from the outside. It is the knock from within your own soul, a powerful rhythmic pulse urging you to answer. Are you ready? The time for the dress rehearsal is over. Many mistake this higher presence as an outer sign to be followed, but in truth, it is only the reflection of an inner readiness. The universe awakens you not with noise and fanfare, but with the deepest, most resonant vibration of your own being. Remember the last time you felt a shiver of excitement for no reason, or the moment you burst into tears at a piece of music, not from sadness, but from a feeling of overwhelming beauty and truth that was not random, my friend. That was your soul opening, preparing for this sacred meeting with itself. This higher presence does not come to comfort your ego. It comes to illuminate your soul. It may unsettle you because when a divine spotlight shines, the shadows you've hidden behind the curtains are suddenly revealed. But trust me when I say this, it is not to hurt you. It is to set you free. Perhaps in the days and weeks ahead, you will meet someone whose presence is unlike anyone you have ever known. They will not flatter you or offer empty praise. They will not promise to stay forever, nor will they promise to fill the empty space in your heart. Yet with just a glance, a few honest words, or even a silent, powerful presence, they will remind you that you were once a wild, untamed force of nature, once radiant, once whole. And when they will leave within you a burning calling to live truly, to love truly, and to be courageous enough to be seen in your entirety. Do not cling to them, for they were not sent to stay. They were sent only to awaken the sovereign within. It is also possible that this presence arises from your own darkness, a pain you once buried beneath a show of strength, a memory of betrayal you tried to forget, an old dream that still leaves you breathless with its power. You may want to turn away to distract yourself, to put the spotlight back on something more comfortable. But Leo, that is the great test. Only when you dare to face your own darkness will you see that the light the divine placed within you has never ever gone out. Darkness is not your enemy. It is merely another mirror reflecting the part of your magnificent self you never dared to embrace. And once you do, once you wrap your arms around your own vulnerability, your own fears, your own imperfections, the darkness loses all its power. You are then open to a new, more integrated and unshakable strength. This higher presence may frighten you, but remember that fear is only the sand covering the diamond. Let your hand touch it. Dig deeper, and you will find the treasure. You will realize you were never lacking, never powerless. It was only an illusion created by the invisible chains of needing to be seen in a certain way. This is the moment, my dear Leo, that you must ask yourself, am I ready to look into the mirror, to see myself, both the brilliant sun and the mysterious shadow, without running away? This is the divine invitation whispered to you every time you feel that profound emptiness, even in a crowded room. The universe never wanted you to shrink yourself to fit inside another's heart. It wants you to expand so fully that your heart becomes a sun with space for true love, love that needs no pretense, no performance, and no invisible contracts. And one day soon, when you open your window in the morning and take a deep, conscious breath, you will feel different. Not because the world has changed, but because your eyes have changed. You will see that everything in your familiar kingdom shines brighter, feels lighter. That is the sign that the higher presence has come, has touched you, has awakened you. Prepare yourself, Leo. When the wall within you collapses, when the divine mirror is placed before you, when the presence enters like an unexpected royal guest, you will face a sovereign decision. Will you keep everything as it was and continue the performance? Or will you open the door and welcome a new journey? Because what awaits you is not just a presence, it is a doorway. A golden doorway leading you into an entirely new chapter of your life. And when your hand touches the handle, you will know deep in your soul that everything that has happened, all the silence, all the shadows, all the lonely nights on the throne, was only to bring you to this sacred, pivotal, and glorious moment. And when that golden door opens, my magnificent Leo, you will see an entire journey awaiting you. There are chapters in your life that may have closed with tears, with the sting of betrayal, with long nights questioning why the love, loyalty, or trust you gave so freely turned into a blade that wounded your noble heart. But believe me when I tell you, every betrayal, every applause that faded too quickly, every painful lesson was not the end. They were only old doors closing so you could finally recognize the new door of destiny opening before you. A door that does not lead you back to a stage of heavy memories and conditional love, but leads you to a true royal court, to kindred souls, to a pure community, and to opportunities that will arrive at the perfect, divinely timed moment, now that you are ready to receive them as your authentic self. I have always believed that every departure from our life, whether we choose it or it is forced upon us, is the universe's hand upon our shoulder, whispering, "Go, my child, for ahead lies a kingdom more worthy of your great heart." The cosmos does not take away to leave you empty. It only clears the path so you no longer have to carry the heavy props and costumes that were never yours to bear. When you lose someone you thought you could not live without, in truth, you are being brought closer to those who will cherish you rightly for who you are behind the curtain. When one door closes, remember that divine hand never leaves you alone. It is always guiding you toward a greater light. The lesson here is simple, yet profoundly powerful. You do not need to carry bitterness. You do not need to carry resentment for those who could not see your true worth. These are only heavy stones that will weigh down your royal robes. The universe does not want you entering your new kingdom with hands full of rubble. It wants you to step in with your hands open, ready to receive the new blessings that are already rushing toward you. Are you ready, Leo, to cross this threshold? A threshold where the past no longer has a hold on you and only you remain guided by the unwavering light of your own inner sun. Imagine you stand before that golden door now. Light is slipping through the crack, shining upon your beautiful face. A gentle voice whispers from the other side, "You do not need to perform any longer. Come forward." Your heart may beat a little faster, a touch of royal nervousness, but deep within you, there is a thrill of excitement you have never known before, because your soul knows. This time, you are going exactly where you belong. When this new door opens, you will see that on the other side is not a familiar road, but a new journey, a higher frequency, where everything aligns with effortless grace. There you will meet people with whom you never need to perform. You will never need to shrink your light. They will look at you into the very core of your being and say, "I see you. I honor your fire." There you will find work, creative opportunities, and relationships that arrive as if they were written for you in the great book of destiny. Trust me, my beautiful Leo, this is only the beginning. Every pain you have endured was merely the training for your reign. It was the universe making you strong enough, wise enough, and authentic enough to cross this threshold. And once you step through, you will no longer be who you were. You will be the purified version, the sovereign who chose light over shadow, truth over performance, and self-love over the fleeting applause of others. And that, my friend, is only the beginning of your true, magnificent story. We have journeyed together, my dear Leo friends, from the gilded cage of your kingdom, through the invisible covenants and the arrival of the divine mirror, all the way to the moment you stand before this new golden door. And now, as we stand together at this sacred conclusion, I want you to take one final deep breath and feel this truth. You did not just survive the breaking of your illusions. You grew from it. You have emerged with a heart that is stronger, a soul that is brighter, and a faith that the universe has always seen you as royalty, never leaving your side. You are worthy of a great soul-shaking love, not because you endured or performed, but because you are love itself in its most radiant form. You are worthy of pure relationships, of a royal court, of friends and partners, where you do not need to pretend, where your brilliant light is not just welcomed, but celebrated. And the most beautiful thing is this: you have already begun to see it, to feel it, within the very choice to love your authentic self. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me until the end of this transmission, for opening your great heart to listen and to let this divine light touch you. Your very presence here has made this moment sacred. I pray for you now. May the universe bless you with profound peace, with vibrant health, and with a majestic prosperity, so that you may always walk the path most worthy of your magnificent soul. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the sun, and you are fully, completely, and divinely capable of achieving all of your wildest, most beautiful dreams. Go forth and be brilliant.